Hey, what's up, everyone? We are going over our new defense layout. We're going to build it here with you guys. So this will be a fairly long video because it does take a good while to actually build a defense. And we're going to utilize the new troops as well. We're going to utilize the Gargoyles because right now they seem to be extremely powerful. Our Gargoyles are only level 2, I want to say. So they are not maxed, but they still do a good amount of damage. What we're going to do is we're going to use a modified trap base, a modified straight base that looks like an easy base to go through. So we're hoping to get gems from opponents. Alright, so we should be able to start things out here. So we're going to start off by making our road straight. To make your road, you have to hold down on one of the pieces, and then you have that cursor come up, and now it drags the road path. They did buff the castle gate in the previous patch, not the last patch now. So we are going to build towers and units around the castle gate as well, up here in these slots. It's very, very strong. So for that, what I like to do is kind of like an alteration between the skull tower and then the firebolt tower. So that's the first step of the base right there, is to build that initial like death patch right next to your castle gate, which has a ton of life. All your wave troops are going to spawn right at your castle gate. So if the hero comes up here, he's got to deal with, 7 towers, a castle gate, and then all the wave troops that are going to come out. So most likely you'll get people that will scroll on you, either use the Apocalypse scroll or the Armageddon scroll and kind of just clear everything out. Which, Armageddon, you don't really get anything right now, but the Apocalypse and other scrolls, you get gems, which is cool. Otherwise, if they don't scroll, you're going to probably kill them right there. Lots of damage for all these towers. Again, I do not have all, maxed out towers. Still in the process, as you can see, we still have some arrow towers. We have an arrow tower level 9 here. Most of my skull and firebolt towers are around level like 3. We do have a couple that are higher level, and those are going to serve a great purpose. Because the higher level snake and skull towers and firebolt towers, they have a ton of life. They do a ton of damage, and you want to put them in positions where they're kind of in the middle of your base, or they're bunched up together, so they can do a massive amount of damage per second to the hero. Alright, so we're making an initial curve right there. Again, this is by no means the absolute best base design. This is just something I'm throwing together. It's going to be a lot more effective than what we had. And this is also going to utilize the gargoyles a little bit better. So here's one of our high-level firebolt towers. It's a level 6. We're going to put this one right in the beginning corner right here. So it can do massive amounts of damage to all the units that spawn out. We do need to put another firebolt tower up here. And so the reason I designed the pathway like this is I want little jump points where my gargoyles can hop over the wall. So the gargoyles, they can hop over this little wall right here, this road path that's kind of snowed off. They can hop over it. So if your hero's running up and you're stuck over here fighting things, the gargoyles are going to hop over and kamikaze bomb you. If you are up here fighting, same thing, the gargoyles are going to kamikaze bomb you right there. So they're going to hit you a lot quicker than all the other units that have to kind of mostly walk around, go through different paths like that. So having a lot of connectivity in your roads, in my opinion, works out pretty good for the gargoyles. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up putting most of our defenses back here in the later part of our base. And that's going to serve as a purpose a couple of different ways. It's going to force him to walk further into my base, to have to summon his troops kind of like prematurely and trying to figure out which towers to use, so they have to walk a long distance to get to the base. And then the further he gets in, there's probably going to be less likely chance that he's going to be able to retreat out and recover some. Because once he gets in here, if he goes through here, he's going to start trying to run back and hide. He might be able to hide right here. That would possibly be the only spot. Because if he goes back further, these wave troops are going to attack. And there's not going to be much hiding spots available to an attacker. Again, by no means is this the absolute best base defense design. This is something I'm just throwing together. It may not even work out how I imagine it. Trying to make sure that we don't forget any of our towers. So you can see it is a little clunky to kind of grab things. Doesn't necessarily go where you want it to. And that's why it takes some time to actually build your defenses. Probably going to get rid of the spikes. Because spikes aren't that effective in the higher levels. We'll have to go take a look here at what people are rating, us against, what they used to rate us with. So again, Pyromancer's Cannon, Froster. Yeah, so spikes aren't good against cannons at all. We are going to swap out our weaker Firebolt Tower for this spot down here. And the reason is we want to do as much damage as possible in our big trap area. You can see there's not many defenses down here. So most of the damage is going to come from the waves. I'm going to pull out some more blockades or barricades. You do want to kind of make your barricades in different positions where they can't hit two at the same time. So that slows the opponent down. Oh no! Ugh. That was a waste. So once that thing is going to finish up there, it should do it. Now we have to go into our waves. No! Oh. You have to be careful. You can destroy your base. Thankfully, it was not too hard to rebuild it. But yeah. So you can see none of the barricades can be double hit with the Blade Storm. I'm surprised that's actually 11 of them. 3, 6, 9. Yep, it's 11. Okay, you always got to make sure that you don't have one of your little towers or anything hiding off to the side. So now here's the fun part. We're going to go through the waves and change this up pretty dramatic. So right now the Ogre is garbage. Level 3 doesn't really do much. Still a lot better to do Paladins. You can see the level 2 Gargoyle does a lot of damage, 870. I'm going to go ahead and select a couple of him. He also does a minor splash damage effect. So what we can do is we can actually load up this first wave with nothing but Gargoyles. Again, the werewolf is level 1. It's not going to be effective at all for the wave, the morale points. Now we're going to start with our typical defensive structures or defensive setup here. Mortar, Froster, do a couple Paladins. We'll throw a Pyromancer in here. And then we'll throw a Gargoyle in this one as well. Two points left. And you have the choice now between 2 Knights or 1 Archer. I'm a fan of the Archer because it's a ranged, and you can see here we have max level Archer. It does a lot of damage. Next wave setup looks pretty good. We're going to take out one of the mortars. We can take out the archers here. Add 1 knight. Add 2 gargoyles. Okay, next wave we'll take out one of the mortars. Take out the archers. Because the kind of like counter to the gargoyles is using the sword rain and using it quickly. So having a lot of low HP costing units like archers, it doesn't really work out too well. You want to have a couple paladins in here that aren't going to die to the sword rain. So this next wave right here needs to be completely revamped. Taking out all the archers and our blasters. I'm going to put a couple of paladins in here. And then back to the gargoyles. Again, here comes the archers coming out. Take the Pyromancer out of that one as well. Because the Pyromancer is mainly in there to do fire damage to all units. With using a lot of Firebolt towers, we have a few in there. We don't need as many Pyromancers anymore. We're going to put another Froster in there. And hopefully we can keep the opponent slowed. And then here comes the Gargoyles again. We'll go ahead and drop 3 this time. And then 1 Paladin. Oops. And then we have 1 point left, so here comes a knight. So for this wave right here, we're going to mix it up a lot, because if they're looking at the mini-map, it's going to show tons and tons of gargoyles. So I want to do something a lot different in this one. I'm possibly debating using an ogre in this wave. I'm not sure how well he works in defense. If not, I'm going to end up going with just tons of paladins. And I think that will work out fairly well. Almost a full wave of paladins. We'll throw in a froster. Again, so anyone that wants to attack, please attack. I want to see how this defense is going to work out, how it's going to play out. We'll come back tomorrow and do some, feedback, look at the attack history, see how things went. We'll also do a quick run through on our own base, testing it out ourselves, see if it actually works as I'm hoping it will. So we have everything all set up now. Go take a look at our base in action here. Go test it out. So you can see Gargoyle first up on the thing, the mini map there. It doesn't look that intimidating in my opinion, just looking at it. So let's go ahead and give this a test. Although any base that I see gargoyles like in the #1 spot, I pretty much avoid. So this is, we're going to go through and try and rush pretty much to the castle gates with our hero. And it should work out fairly well because my gargoyles aren't doing as much damage as, as a lot of the other players because they are level 2. So I'm like able to kind of thwart them off and also potentially kill them with the spells before they even do damage. I think I'm going to have to change up that paladin wave there. I think I'm going to have to put some ranged units in there. And you can see our towers are going down pretty easily with a Sonic Blast. And that's the fact that my towers aren't leveled up. So all in all, this base looks to be fairly simple for me to beat. And a lot of that, I believe, has to do with the fact my Gargoyles are only level 2. That you can kill them before they get their bombs off. So with the lower HP that they have, they died a little bit beforehand, and then their damage also wasn't as great, to me. Because once you level them up, they get more damage and more life as well. We go change out the Paladin wave there. And then we'll see how this works overnight. Excuse me. Anyway, if you have any suggestions on what to do for base defenses, tips, tactics, let me know down in the comment section. Love to hear from you guys. Feedback is always great. So we swapped out one of the Gargoyles in that first wave because my Gargoyles weren't doing that much damage, so we do need other things. So we're going to get Vatigo right there. It has a little bit of range, DPS, and then some more poison effects. So please give me an attack, King Jason W. Test up the base. I'm going to go through, do a follow-up tomorrow, and let you know how this thing works out. We are 3,320 trophies right now, and I will probably be heading off to bed shortly. So we'll see how this does overnight. And thanks for watching. And if you have any ideas or tips, let me know in the comment section down below.